Hey, Ange.
Hey, Les. How you doing?
I should say, hey, black hat girl.
Hey, Black Hat Club girl. Listen, my head is gonna be hatting until I decide on my new style, my new hairstyle.
You said hattin' or
It'll be
hatted.
hattin'. My head will be hatting until I come up with my new hairstyle. If you guys have any suggestions on the new style, I'm thinking color. I'm thinking a little atypical. What is atypical? Something, I don't know, something different. And so until I decide, there will be a hat. There will be a hat. It will be hatting. Anyway,
And you got plenty of them, so good.
I do. Welcome to a new episode of Black Boomer Besties from Brooklyn. I'm Angela, and that's my bestie of almost 50 years, Leslie. We are two intellectually curious 60-something-year-old Black women, and we invite you to join us as we think deeply and act boldly. Today, we're going to be talking about something that we're kind of pissed off about.
Yeah,
to be honest.
yeah.
It was a stamp T-shirt that we saw somebody wearing that said, Leslie, what does it say?
It said Trump or Tramp. And I'm like,
So-
WTF. But I said the words out loud. I didn't use the acronym.
Ew. Anyway, before we continue, Les, what are you asking of the people?
I am happy that you all stumbled or intentionally came on our channel. So what I would love for you to do is press like and subscribe. You'll be happy you did. And if you click on notifications, you'll know when we drop new content, which is weekly, or even more than that lately.
Yeah,
We've been doing
sometimes
more. So you'll know when we have new content. You'll be able to tell your friends, and I know you'll be happy you did. So please click like and subscribe now. Right now. Right now.
Okay, Les,
So
give it to the people.
I said to you, Ange, did you hear what? I'm not going to started to make fun of the man's name, but that's not who I am. Le'Veon
today.
Bell wore in public. So
What's
this
his name?
Le'Veon Bell, Leveon Bell. He is a
Okay.
former Pittsburgh Steelers football player. And I'm like, this dude, that's not what I called him when I talked to you. So I said, this dude had the nerve to wear this shirt in public. Now, a little background, although you don't need that much background, is that he and one of his fellow former teammates, Antonio Brown, had they endorsed Donald Trump. You know, wore regalia and the MAGA hats on a particular stage to show their support. Fine, you support who you feel that you need to support. What I really pushed back upon is the actual characterization of Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, as a tramp. And it immediately set off in my mind those awful, racist, stereotypical tropes of Black women in general. And I thought, I almost cursed, the temerity of this man to call out a Black woman in this way, I think was unconscionable. And that's what I want to talk about.
So one of the first
It
things
really
I
made me
thought of-
angry.
And yeah. And you don't get angry
No, not like that.
too quickly. The first thing I thought of is, Les, like this ain't the first time. I don't know this person, but if somebody would wear a T-shirt that said that, it ain't the first time that this is not a new framing for him of women. This is not a new framing for him. He's probably been calling women tramps who
and
ask-
bitches and
all the things for probably anything that he's responsible for that a woman comes at him about. This is language that he would use for them. So I don't think it has anything to do with Vice President Harris, who she is, any of that stuff. This is just framing that this person, because even like to wear a T-shirt, to brand yourself like that this is, and by the way, what is the name that comes on top of Tramp? He had Trump up there, and he
said Trump versus
Tramp. It would probably be
Tramp.
better for him to say Trump is a tramp versus
Trump versus, and there were the pictures of Trump under the Trump, and then Kamala's picture under Tramp. And the first thing I think was pretty naive on my part. It's like, what is it about this woman that would make someone think that she's a tramp?
Mm-hmm.
What is it in her history? Does he know something that we don't, that the public doesn't know?
Well,
does she have a history of sleeping around?
Mm-hmm.
Does she have a history of infidelity? As far as I'm aware, she's a married woman and stepmother to children, and has a professional business, history, and a politician. If of all the things to say about Vice President Harris, Tramp, Tramp would fit me more than it would fit this lady.
Well, Les, you know that there is the history of the person that she had a relationship with when she was an up and coming prosecutor in California, right? I mean that's well known. Willie Brown, is it?
Yes, the former mayor of San Francisco.
Right. So that is a fact, and I think he was married at the time. He's separated, whatever. This was in the 80s. No, not the 80s. Maybe the 90s.
As in 30 years ago?
Yeah, but my thing is this, right?
Yeah.
Because people dig up stuff from whatever, and, it happens on the other side too. But my thing is this, and this is why I have this issue with this idea, the general idea of Black excellence, that we can do no wrong, that we are modeled this and that anything that deviates, it's like when we were talking about Fani Willis, this idea that we have to be these immaculate, godly, righteous people to be respected. That idea is what I think comes into play here too. We're not perfect people. It's not about
we're human beings,
being perfect, and it's not about, if you have one ding, or even if you don't call it a ding, if you have any red marks against you, then you're not worthy. But in terms of someone's character, that you're going to, in terms of how people show up, not in their frailties, but in their character, their values,
and in their day-to-day. Yeah, I pushed back because it's such a reductionist view.
Yeah.
Certainly designed as a stereotype, and we have been reduced to stereotypes for so long that I hated to see this young Black man who has a mother, who has aunties and family, who has a grandmother and other people, siblings perhaps, perpetuate this type of thing. We've heard about, the tropes of the mammy, we know about the Jezebel and the this, and then the sapphire, the sassy friend, and this and that, or the Black girl magic. So these are all tropes that have been perpetuated through society for a long time. And it would, as objectionable as it is worse, I think, when we do that ourselves and perpetuate it.
Yeah. And, again, this thread goes through so many things. We are the subjects of the society that we are in, right? We swim in the pool. We swim in the pool of the dominant culture, and so we also ingest.
Some of the pee that's in the pool.
Ingest of the pee in the pool, and we take that on. We see it in film, on TV, these characters and so on. And, stereotypes have their grounding, right? The stereotypes come from things that you see in a particular culture.
Yeah.
But they also categorize, and they make us less likely to see all the nuances and all of the and maintain like the single story, right?
Exactly. The
these
complexities and the entirety of who, in this case, Kamala Harris is, but in a larger sense, who Black women are, or in an even larger sense, who Black people are.
Exactly.
And I know that me in my personal life, obviously, there are certain stereotypes about a Black woman, a Black woman with dreadlocks, a Black woman who has hair that's colored red, or whatever the case may be, or wear big earrings or jewelry or whatever.
Right.
And in my professional work and in my casual work, I have to think about bucking up against stereotypes.
Right.
And presenting a more real view of who I am and who we are as a people. So when this young man, and I use that term loosely.
Well, he's a young man. He's not a gentleman.
Okay. Yeah, in
That's
fact,
as
this
basic
young
as
man is the best I'm giving him. He should be ashamed of himself.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that.
And because remember, there are ways to disagree with people and to provide, an opposite view and say, I'm not with these people. This is the reason why X, Y, Z. Remember what John McCain did when the audience member said, I'm afraid of Barack Obama.
Because he's a Muslim.
I would be afraid. He's a Muslim. And it was an honest exchange.
Yes.
She expressed her fear. He didn't shoot her down and say, you're crazy. And you're right. I am afraid of him too. He says, no, he is not a Muslim. He is a man who I disagree with his politics. And this is the reason why I think you should choose me over that guy. Not because he's a Muslim or someone to be afraid of. Although, in my opinion, I think former president who's running against Kamala Harris, I am afraid of him. I'm not afraid of him because of his religious leanings or lack thereof, in my opinion, but rather the policies that he would set forth for me and people whom I love. Those policies are fearful, and I am afraid of what another presidency with him would look like. I'm afraid of his collaboration with Project 2025 and the things that it plans to change about our country and the direction that they told us that they're going to go in. So in that regard, I have real fears about what a second presidency from his own mouth, what it would look like if the former president were reelected. But
and I'm gonna just state some of my fears along with yours. I'm afraid that people are still talking about the issues of this election as if it were just a regular election, that they're still talking about, but with Trump, we'll have more money in our pockets. Did you look at his policies, when he was president? Do you hear what he's saying? Do you hear what he's saying? Do you hear how much he admires Putin, how much he admires who's the guy
dictators in Hungary,
in Turkey? How much he admires these people. We're talking about values here. If you think that you can trust someone, right? And they're politicians, right? We get that. We get that. We're not talking about every word and people are gonna. I'm just saying that if you're dealing with someone who is a habitual liar, why do you think that he's gonna not? And he didn't lie. He hasn't lied to you. His lies haven't affected you yet. why do you think that you're putting yourself in a situation where he will not turn on you and become a liar to you, to the things that affect you? Why do you think that someone who is a repeat offender of women, why do you think that a person who has these types of values are going to respect you as a woman and the things that you value as a woman? I mean, if the issues are just about money and, I know that immigration is a big issue across the board, but even that, if it's someone who doesn't have values,
where do they end?
Where do you think that?
Where does it end? I personally, I don't really care about having more money in my pocket. Thank God.
Amen to you.
Me
amen
personally,
I'm just saying.
I don't really care about a lot of those personal issues. I'm past the age of needing or thinking about abortion. But I have loved ones.
Yeah.
I love women.
Yeah.
I love families.
Yeah.
People are dying. I'm a physician. People are dying, not knowing where to go for help in their pregnancies when they need help. So what I'm saying is, it's not just for me personally, because I think I'll be fine. I have a little bit of buffer.
Yeah.
But many people do not. And as a humanist and a person who loves people, I have to think about other people. I can't think about myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And even if money is an issue for you, right? And money, and you do want more money in your pocket. My point is, what makes you think that someone who has so little value, like the things that, I'm going to say this, the things that he values are to bully people, to call people names, to make fun of people, to align himself with people who just want to rule and exert power over. Why do you think he's not going to do that to you? Even if he hasn't done it to
your
you
loved
before.
ones. He hasn't done it to you yet.
Yeah. Why do you think that he's not going to? Because the things that have benefited you perhaps in the past, there's no way that you can think that this person did it because he cares about you.
About you personally. Yeah. Yeah.
That he cares about you. It was just kind of chalk it up as a residual of a bigger something bigger that he wanted. Anyway, we digress.
Yeah. We kind of got off a little bit, but
I did want to. I was kind of debating in my own head whether I was going to bring this up, just as we talk about stereotypes, how they kind of show up in so many aspects of our lives and our personal lives, and something that came to me is in a past relationship how the stereotype about who I was as a Black woman colored. Made him unable to see that there are other nuances to us, right? That we're not just this one thing. There are all these nuances, so it shows up in so many.
It does.
And I'm also going to say this, and it made me, to be perfectly transparent and honest, it made me recognize that maybe there were aspects of it that I kind of liked and I allowed, but they weren't truly who I was.
Yeah. And that's what it is.
mean?
I think I do. I've had that experience in relationships also when people see you as unidimensional. So they ascribe all of your behaviors to that trope, whatever it is that they believe of you.
Right.
And they cannot see you again in your entirety, and you become diminished, and the relationship falters as a result of it. When people can't see you for who you are, especially your loved ones, it becomes very painful.
Yeah.
It becomes
absolutely.
very painful. And I think in addition to the anger that I had when I saw that T-shirt, it was painful to me to see someone who reminded me of my son or of my nephews or, you know, a person who has some public presence doing that. I think he should be ashamed.
Yeah.
There are other ways to voice your opposition, but not perpetuate and take down people who loved and reared you.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
I felt it was a betrayal for what? For Trump? You know,
betrayal.
Trump
That's a
has
good word.
his supporters, and you don't need to denigrate someone like me, in order to show your support for this person.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
I
right.
just want to I was kind of, when I was looking it up, I want to just let you know what a user, because he got quite a bit of pushback. You know, he of course he got support also, but some of the pushback he got was a 16-year-old young lady. She's an influencer, and I believe in women's rights or whatever. She says, why do you have to support your candidate by denigrating a Black woman? Why do you have to do both? Just wear like I do. Wear a Kamala T-shirt.
Right.
You know? One user on social media, he wrote, between Donald Trump, Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown, there are over 35 felonies, multiple sexual assaults, and multiple illegitimate kids. But they have the nerve to call Kamala Harris a tramp.
This is what I mean. This did not start. You don't wake up one morning and say, I'm going to call somebody a tramp and wear it on a T-shirt.
It's like, who are these dudes? Just, these dudes are felons. These dudes, they have Le'Veon Bell, I think he said he's 31 or something like that. 7 children.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Wow. And hey, you can have as many children as you want and whatever,
exactly.
But I mean, I don't know what the definition of tramp are. How many of these mothers are you with, married to, supporting, whatever? You know, it sounds a little trampish.
Right.
Mr. Bell.
It's a little trampy. Trampular.
Tramp-esque. So, I mean, we're laughing about something that is not necessarily funny in the larger scheme. But I'm glad that there was some pushback and people recognized it for the harm, potential harm that it can do, and the perpetuation of stereotypes that I just think is not. Yeah. Don't do that.
It's like,
don't do that.
Hashtag be better.
Yeah.
Be better. Come on.
Or as Melania Trump said, be best.
Be better.
Remember that was her when she was in her be best.
All right, let's wrap it up.
I'm going to be best. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. Listen, share, what do you guys think about that? You think that is, in this tight political climate, is anything goes? Is, should there be no guardrails? Should there be no what I call decency? And, what do you guys think? Leave us some, you guys are really good about leaving comments. So please do, we appreciate it. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
Yeah, and listen, we hope that you share this podcast with your, all the people who you think are going to benefit from listening to these two. How old are we, Les?
We're 62 now.
We're now both 62 years old. Yes.
Jeez.
And check out my new ebook. It's called "We're Too Old for This Shit." The Inquisitive Older Woman's Guide to Joy. You can find it at joystrategy.co/ebook. It is for you. So join us next time for another episode of
Black Boomer Besties from Brooklyn.